Okay. So this is the finished texture map. This is going to be the diffuse map. So this is what our diffuse is going to look like. This is what we're going to see. One of the things that we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to take away these. And we're actually going to put the diffuse map over here. And one of the things I want to note is that we have a lot of outline. And we're going to get rid of that right now so that this doesn't show up on the normal map. And what the normal map is, it's just a little 2D picture that the server and subsequently pretty much anything that you put it on makes it look 3D, tells the computer that certain things pop out at the player, and we don't want it to show up on our Jade textures. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to the NVIDIA Tools, Normal Map Filter, and we kind of see how it pops up over there. It naturally scales it to 45. We don't want it to scale at 45. We want it to scale more at 40. You know what, let's go with 35. I'm a big fan of 5s. Right, there we go. And there it is. Now we're just going to save this as a .dds because that's what Hero Engine requires. We're going to go over here, underscore normal, or n. Now we're going to go over here to computer, Hero Engine, Art Depot. I did correct the sensitivity on my mouse, so we're not having that problem anymore. Save. Save. Oh. Okay. So now we have to actually adjust the size. And that's going to be right here. So it has to be in a multiple of 4. Now, I believe if we make this 504, we're going to get rid of that. 504, because 501 isn't quite there. I suppose we could go with 500 too. No, we're going to stick with 504. And there's a reason for that. You'll actually get to see why in just a minute. So, file. Let's actually flatten this. Yes. File. Save as. .dds. Underscore normal. I always forget something. It's kind of a problem with me. There we go. Multiple of 4. Now we're going to go ahead and unflatten. Get rid of the map filter, turn these back on. We're going to flatten the image, discard, file, save as. Going to change the N to D because this is our diffuse texture. And that's, again, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but yes, I haven't corrected it yet. 504, 504, okay. Now we can save it. Oh, I didn't save it to the right place. File, save as, computer, oh, Hero Engine, Art Depot. Clicking like a madman over here. D, save, save. There we go. Alright, all better. So we actually don't need this anymore, so we're going to go ahead and close Photoshop out. Oh, my textures. No, not my textures. Alright, so this is actually the finished product. This is what it looks like after I've already applied the image over here and in here. I made a couple corrections to the vertices while the other video was uploading, which is available now. This is the second video that I'm doing today. And we're going to change this image open. We are going to go to the C drive. And we're going to tell it to look for the diffuse texture from before. And that way it's just one less thing we have to do later. There should be a normal texture in here. I don't know why we can't see it. Alright. Alright, so now we're just going to take a quick gander at everything. Oh, okay, so see, here's part of what I was talking about earlier. So we're going to make sure that this, we don't have these little pixelized edges here. So on the arch over here, we're going to go over here. We're going to take this section here. Nope, we don't want to do it that way. We just want to grab X and drag in a little bit. Grab U. Grab X. Okay, so that's going to correct any of that problem that we had over here. Now we need to fix this side. So now let's go to the bottom. And just to make sure we got everything over here. We didn't get this bottom part, so we'll correct that real quick as long as we're over here. Grab X, drag over. No longer a problem. But this will be. Grab Y, drag up. Grab Y. Y, drag up. Alright, there we go. Now we don't have that funny looking well, this. We don't have that there anymore, but we still have it over here, so we're going to grab this. And we're just going to grab this whole edge, because I guarantee you we have it along the whole thing. And up. Daisy. Still a problem? Doesn't look like it. What about this bottom edge here? So I noticed that it is awfully close to the line. And just a little bit. And we'll just correct that real quick. There we go. I don't like how close this is. Okay. Now let's just check the rest of it. So we still have a little bit of it here. That's this part here. Grab Y, drag up, grab U, grab X. There we go. Problem fixed. Now, do we have this problem over here on the main pillar? Doesn't appear so. What about the other side? Doesn't appear so, so we're good there. Little bit over here, so let's fix that, and we got a little bit right there that we're going to need to fix. So that tells me that this part is over here. So let's just do this. Grab Y, drag up, grab X, drag over, grab Y, drag down. And all I'm really doing is I'm just making sure that it's inside the texture. We'd hate to get in-game and find that. Just looks sloppy, you know? So if we take the time to take care of this now, we don't have that problem later. Alright, so let's go over here and take a look. Problem fixed, it looks like. Let's take a look at the bottom. And I really do take a lot of time with these guys because I want to make sure that once we get into the server that everything is just perfect. I don't want you guys feeling like you got gypped by sloppy work later on. Fantastic. So now we're going to go over here to our modifier, apply, and she's all done. I'm going to go ahead and save that. We don't need this anymore. Now it comes time for scaling. Always fun. Alright, so this camera tells me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be about 1/10 of a meter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. So since this is going to be fairly large, I'm just going to scale, 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 scale. Drag up on the Z-axis. Now where it sits in this 3D space is really inconsequential. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so that's a meter. We want this to be a little larger. It's clearly a big decorative arch like this one, as pretty as it is. Is going to be much bigger than just a meter. So at this point our person, or our character, is going to stand about this tall. So we're just going to scale it up a little bit more. And we can see it's starting to disappear. That's a good sign. We actually do want that. That tells me, again, if our person's about this tall, our archway is easily twice the size of a person. So we're going to go ahead and save again. And now we're ready to export it to Maya. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And go ahead and open. While that's doing its thing, there's something I wanted to do. Forget what it was. Oh yes, I need to open up our repository browser. Hero Engine. Repository. Yes. We want to open up the repository browser. We want to open up the server. So let's go ahead and take care of that real quick while I take a sip of my coffee. I literally drink coffee all day long. I have been known to drink about 2 or 3 pots of coffee a day. If Aubrey were here, I would have him confirm it for you, but he's not. I'll see if I can't get him here tomorrow. He is pretty busy working on the tasks that I have him on. Alright, cool. So now that that's coming up, there's... Hey, don't play with me. There we go. Alright, so now Maya's ready. Let's go ahead and export this. FBX, export to Maya. Yeah, that works. So this is going to be the second asset that I've actually uploaded to the server that's a build item that actually has a single texture. Import. And you're actually going to get a chance to see just how big this is in Maya. There it is. There you are. Oh, looks like we made it just a wee bit too big. Yep. So big, even Maya won't touch it. So, back over here. So apparently, I overshot this just a little bit. Let's move this out of my way for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I see. It's too tall. I think I have that right now. That's a meter. I don't see the camera. The camera was my marker for a while. You know what? Let's upload it to the server and let's find out what we're looking at. See if my server's awake. No, not yet. Still spinning up. Well. Alright, so we're going to go to New. Don't save. Scale her down just a little bit. Yeah, those look way too close. I must have misjudged this somehow. Yeah, that's about right. Oh! Apparently I missed something. Did I miss that over here as well? See, it's amazing what you'll find in Maya that you couldn't find in Blender. Little things like that. That's okay. How very odd. Alright. Not a problem. You know, we'll fix that later. Well, I'll fix that later. Right now I'm more interested in getting this completed. And we're going to add the new material. We're going to add a hero shader. Dwarven, Archway, Gecko. Select the diffuse map. Come on. Thank you. I just want to note that the video capture software takes up a lot of my processor, so this takes a lot longer here than it would normally take. Computer, C drive, Hero Engine, Art Depot, AG, World, Dwarven Textures, Diffuse. There it is. Place via file. That's not supposed to happen that way. So, go back to here. Diffuse map. File. There we go. Don't play with me, machine. There's that. Now, as you zoom out, you are going to notice that it tends to bring in the majority shader, which is this jade texture, and that does seem to overpower everything, but I assure you when we get right in there, it doesn't really matter. So what we want to do is we want to go to Place Texture, Interactive Placement, blah blah blah, not a nerve surface, blah blah blah. How very odd. There we go. And we're just going to leave that alone now. We do, however, want to go back to our hero shader because we still have a normal map to place. It doesn't appear to have saved there. We're going to close that up real quick. We're going to go back to Photoshop. Good, it's open. And log that in. Enter. Let that log in. And now we can minimize. File open. We're going to go to the desktop because I know I have the Photoshop format over here. There it is. And everything's intact. Flatten, discard. Because to be honest, they're not really necessary for this one. They're going to be gone anyway. We want the jade part to look like flat, polished stone. And we want this to kind of pop out at the player. Make sure that the image size is correct, which it's not, 504. 5504, okay. Filter, normal map filter. We made this 35 before, so we're going to stick with that. File, save as, .dds, computer, Hero Engine, Art Depot, world. I wonder if I accidentally, nope, sure didn't. Underscore n. There it is. Fantastic. Okay, now we'll be able to find this in Maya. There it is. Open. So there's a couple things I've got to fix. I'll do that on my time, not on yours. That way I'm not boring you with me just going through and correcting everything every time. Alright, back to Maya. Just making sure that we're still recording. Yes, yes, yes. Can't export 2D textures. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know why it doesn't just delete them on the way in, or when I put the hero shader on there, but it doesn't. World, assets, meshes, and we have quite a few. Okay, so this is the Dwarven underscore Decorative Archway underscore. We're going to make this one, just in case we decide to do another one later. And there we go. So now if we go to the repository browser, meshes. Ah! Son of a bitch. Excuse my French. Alright, you. Export. Export. Local disk C, Hero Engine, Art Depot, Hero Engine. Let's try this again. There we go. Save. Yes, replace it. Now. There it is. Perfect. Now, we're going to take this. We're going to pop that down. We're going to go over here. We're going to drop this into world. And that should replace the Dwarven city assets that we have right here. So while that's doing that, let's log in. Get ready to see our new creation at work. It's still uploading. That's fine. It's going to take this a quick minute anyway. So I'm going to place a few of these, or probably about 4 of these. I'm going to make sure that I snap them to the grid so that they end up on the ground nice and even. We're actually going to put a walkway underneath them later anyway. So I'm going to hover them just a wee bit so that I can drop them down better. I more just want to see how these look in front of the entrance. Which I think I noted in video 2, I am going to be changing the entrance. The one that I have up is just a placeholder, but when I replace the file that we're using there, yes, gotta love my bridge. I do, you don't have to. I love my bridge. That's all that matters. I built it, I love my bridge. I ran out the wrong side. Whatever. So, in case you don't remember, the controls that I use to move the Hero Engine character around, so I'm not using one of our characters yet, I'm just using the one that's provided. The controls that I'm using are the basic W, S, A, D, Q, E. So they kind of move around. So, alright, let's go to the library. We'll go to the Dwarven City. We are going to add an item and go through all of our wonderful files. Meshes. There's the Dwarven Decorative Archway. Yes, it has, and that's just fine. Whoa. Yeah, I think I made it a little big. You're not supposed to be that big. Well, this is trial and error, I suppose. Let's kind of go to the camera. I just want to see how much I screwed this up. Wow. Okay, so it's bigger than the mountain range. Whoops. Let's kind of scale that down, shall we? Yeah. Whoopsie. You don't want her that big. I mean, yeah, we want it rather large, but we don't want it that large. Holy crap. Let's kind of condense it down just a wee bit. Let's kind of drop back down. Damn. Can't believe I did that. No wonder Maya was having such a problem with it. It's usually so good with files. But apparently I'm not so good with the size ratio. Which I have a meter stick that I had to do because we were having that exact issue with sizing. Close enough for government work. Snap to grid. There we go. Alright. Are you touching the ground? No, you're not. That's fine. Hop. But you are now. Ha ha ha. Okay. So we have it snapped to the grid. I'm going to kind of line it up like that. And we're just going to drag it over. Alright, so I'm going to be doing two things today, or this evening, when I get home from work. One of them is going to be fixing the texture map on here, and fixing this. Oh, this is what that normal texture does. You can see the jade is flat, but this has that wonderful it's almost liquid in appearance. But I'm going to fix that for you, so you don't have to look at that. A little donut there. But I will fix this. Again, just because I don't want you guys to have to stare at that. And so that I don't have to stare at it. Kind of a perfectionist that way. But anyway, there's one of our decorative assets. As you can see. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. That's fine. Let's just scale her up just a wee bit. Yep. So I like it. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear from one of you guys in the comments. I haven't gotten any comments yet. I'm kind of hoping that that'll change soon. I also kind of hope to see a few more subscribers. So, if you guys like the videos, definitely subscribe, share the love, if you will. And I'll see you guys on the next one.